Welcome back, everyone. Today, we are diving into a really incredible explainer covering day one of the Amroha CyberCell internship. If you've ever thought cybersecurity was just, a bunch of complex code, firewalls, and servers, well, get ready, because we're about to completely flip that script. We are breaking down two mind-blowing sessions today that prove a massive point. Cybersecurity is actually a psychological challenge way before it ever becomes a technical one. We're going to look at exactly how our brains are targeted first, and then how the machines track us down. Let's get right into it. So here is our game plan for today. We'll start with a human weakest link, move into profiling the cybercriminal mind, check out OSINT and information gathering, dive into advanced tracking, look at some wild hardware threats, and finally wrap up with some essential ethical takeaways. All right, starting right off with Section 1, the human weakest link. We're pulling some amazing insights from Vikas Kumar's session on cyber psychology here. To really understand our own vulnerabilities, we've got to hold up a mirror to our daily habits. So, ask yourself right now, what exactly is your digital diet? Think about it just like the physical food you eat. It's the type, the quality, and the absolute sheer volume of content you consume online every single day. I mean, did you know the average person scrolls through something like 300 feet of content daily? That is crazy. Every single doom scroll, every sensational headline you click, that is a calorie in your digital diet. And here is exactly why that matters. Your digital diet inevitably creates what we call your digital footprint. This is basically all those invisible traces you leave behind. Your search history, your social media posts, your online shopping transactions. And over time, this footprint completely solidifies into your digital identity. This is how you exist in cyberspace. And guys, it is quite literally the exact blueprint that attackers use to figure out your habits, your personal risks, and your vulnerabilities. Which brilliantly illustrates why we, humans, are the weakest link. Attackers often don't even bother trying to hack the technology. Why would they? They just manipulate our basic psychological triggers instead. Imagine getting a terrifying, urgent message from your bank. That spike of fear, it completely overrides your logic, and boom, you download a fake security patch. They use urgency to make you wire money. They weaponize your trust and your curiosity to get you to just hand over sensitive info. It's social engineering at its absolute finest, and it requires zero coding skills. Moving on to Section 2, profiling the cybercriminal mind. Let's take a look at the people actually pulling the strings. When we neutrally map out these attackers, we see a massive, wild spectrum of motivations. You've got your financial criminals, right? They're just looking for a quick payday. But sitting right next to them are romance scammers, who literally spend months exploiting deep emotional relationships just for profit. Then you have sextortionists using intimate leverage for blackmail, hacktivists driven by intense political ideologies, insiders who misuse their authorized access for revenge, and cyber terrorists, whose only goal is sheer panic and disruption. Understanding what drives them, whether it's money, revenge, or ideology, is absolutely crucial for investigators trying to design better defense strategies. All right, let's pivot to Section 3, OSINT and information gathering. This is drawn from Aunt Sharma's absolutely eye-opening session. The whole foundation of this technical reconnaissance is something called OSINT, or Open Source Intelligence. This is the incredibly powerful process of legally scraping and collecting data from publicly available sources. We're talking about everything from standard search engines and Telegram chats to deep dark web intelligence. It's basically gathering up all the scattered puzzle pieces of your digital footprint to build a massive, comprehensive threat assessment. And the tools they use for this, they are incredibly potent and completely legal to access. You have Intel X for deep data discovery. Things like Epios and Hunter.io can map out entire networks of email accounts effortlessly. Then there's Dehashed, which checks if your personal passwords are just floating around in known data breaches. But honestly, the most unsettling one might be Insicam. This is a public platform where anyone can literally sit and view exposed, publicly accessible camera feeds from all over the globe. It's deep, invasive recon, all done using completely public data. So how easily does an internet exposure investigation actually flow? Well, it usually starts with step 1, Google dorking. By typing specific commands like in title or in text, investigators can force Google to reveal hidden files that were never meant to be public. Step 2 takes us to Shodan. Think of Shodan like Google, but for internet-connected devices instead of websites. Which brings us to step 3,
identifying misconfigured systems. Through Shodan, you can easily find open telnet ports like port 23 or totally vulnerable IP cameras just sitting on the web with zero password protection. It really goes to show how simple misconfigurations can expose the whole shebang.
That brings us to Section 4, Advanced Tracking and Exposure. Now, you might be thinking, hey, what if I don't leave obvious footprints? What if I never click sketchy links? Well, let me introduce you to the highly unsettling reality of device fingerprinting. This technique creates a totally unique digital profile that identifies your device, even if you clear your cookies or block trackers. It combines tiny, seemingly harmless details like your browser version, your exact screen resolution, your operating system, even your network setup. Put them all together, and boom, you have a unique fingerprint that invisibly tracks you everywhere you go online. Literally no way around it. And this tracking doesn't just stay on the internet. It bleeds into the physical world through SIGINT, or signal intelligence. This involves catching data from electronic signals bouncing all around us. Think RFID systems or basic radio frequency tech. The session even showed how publicly broadcasted ADS-B data can be scooped up to monitor commercial flight paths and physical movements in real time. Basically, your mere physical presence is constantly broadcasting a digital signal. Let's jump into Section 5, Hardware Threats and Vulnerabilities. Now, some of the tools on Sharma demonstrated are actually brilliant for defense, like canary tokens. These act as little invisible tripwires that alert you the second someone snoops where they shouldn't. But others? They show just how ridiculously vulnerable we are. Take Grabify. It proves how clicking one simple, innocent-looking link can harvest massive amounts of info about your location and device. Then for physical hardware, you've got the USB rubber ducky. It looks exactly like a normal thumb drive you might find dropped on the sidewalk, but the second you plug it in, it executes a devastating automated attack. Add in Bluetooth flaws shown by Blue Ducky and the BlueRec vulnerability, and you quickly realize that just being physically close to a device can compromise the entire system in seconds. Okay, finally, Section 6, Essential Cybersecurity Ethical Takeaways. Let's wrap this up. Let's shift gears from all these terrifying vulnerabilities back to empowerment, because the takeaways from this Amroha Cybercell internship are absolutely crucial. First, we learned that cybersecurity is a perfect 50-50 split between technical challenges and human behavior. Second, our own psychological triggers like fear and trust are directly enabling these attacks. Third, the sheer power of OSINT means our public footprints are effortlessly revealed to anyone looking. But the biggest takeaway of all? Operating strictly within ethical and legal boundaries while gathering this intelligence is exactly what separates the good guys from the bad guys, and it's what ultimately builds strong, responsible cyber defenses. So, I want to leave you with a final provocative thought. We've traced the whole journey today, from how your daily digital diet shapes your footprint, to how that footprint hardens into your identity, and how that identity is aggressively targeted by both psychological mind games and advanced OSINT tracking. It's a lot to take in. But knowing how easily your digital life can be weaponized against you, what proactive steps are you going to take to secure your digital footprint today? Think about it. Thanks so much for joining me on this deep dive into the human side of cyber. Keep learning, stay curious, and stay secure out there.